Hey, David, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm trying to get this screen to show. It is not displaying at the moment for some reason. Hey, there we go. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Master Trader Live. You can learn to use stock and market analysis to make money in trading. We keep it simple. So I wrote in my letter to subscribers yesterday after the big down day, what I was looking for, that being potentially a breakdown bar failure. Now, let me explain that, exactly what it is, because it's a really powerful failure type of a pattern. So what we were looking at last night, I'm just scrolling this over here, just to get a view of, what we're looking at the chart, because at the moment, it really looks like a continuation pattern to the downside. And of course, it may actually follow through in that way. So you have to wait for the rest of the setup to form before taking any action. So today may be a rather go nowhere type of a day, because as it's starting out this way, this is the essence of what we see typically by the end of the day, meaning, you've had this consolidation, you've got this breakdown, it's got a minor bottoming tail bar, and then you get an inside bar. So wherever this ends up today, this range, it winds up being an inside day inside the larger red bar day. And that sets up the breakdown bar failure. And let's see if we can get a drawing tool out here. All right, so you've got this little consolidation. Last week was down, up, down, neutral, back up. Yesterday, back down again. So it forms this little range right there. And now this bar is live here in the moment as it's trading back and forth. And we can see, right here is the hourly chart, and there's the breakdown, and as it's trading right now, and it's kind of just inching its way up in a very sneaky way up into this void from this big down move. And so we got momentum move to the downside, creates a void. We've got a little base here which built up some support, really not all that meaningful. This could easily break out and come right back in and drop again. But what we want to look for to see is, can this little support that formed overnight actually hold? And then chop around here today, we get the inside bar, and then we're going to want to go long tomorrow above the high of this bar, because this pattern is one in which it suggests prices are going to move lower. Here was the double top, the break lower, the consolidation at this support area that could not move up. It breaks down tomorrow. All of that says it's going to go lower. Now, buyers stepped up near the end of the day, didn't really get things turned around and completely because there's not a bottoming tail bar. And now there's this consolidation here. So tomorrow, if it can trade above this area, and we'll see how this shapes up during the trading day, of course, we're going to look to go long. Now, right? You're saying, well, what about this overhead resistance? Yeah, it's going to have to deal with it. And typically it's kind of choppy there. So you can't use a tight stop. Well, you could, I guess, if you use an intraday time frame, but you could easily get stopped out. So it's better to smaller shares and give it some room. We'll see how it shapes up there, and then we'll see if we can get through it, and we then take it bar by bar and pivot by pivot to see how far it could possibly go. Now we've got a lot of stocks that have been beaten down here that are up on the day. You can see here on my list here what's active right now, and Tesla has been getting slammed and it's popping up here. And so buyers are beginning to anticipate what I'm talking about here. All right. So the inside day is created by, obviously, buyers stepping up. And I said, well, why would they be doing that after yesterday? Dow down almost 500 points, so on and so forth. Well, that's the way the market works. It's in an area of support and buyers are going to show up. The unknown is, can they show up in enough force and create enough demand to get things turned around? So today, well, we may find some trades that show relative strength and have already formed maybe a better bottom. We'll see. We'll be on the lookout for those and see how that they actually shape up. Now, one of the reasons that this breakdown bar failure is supported, the possibility anyway, is the fact that these market internals are supportive of it. And here we've got the spiders rather than the S&Ps, and you can see there how they hovered right there on the 200 and then failed. And now, the analysts are coming up on CNBC and the commentators are talking about the break of the 200 period moving average and so on. And they've shown their trend line breaks, and which are absolutely meaningless, and why it should go lower. And look, it's possible that it does, but what is beginning to set up here is what I said, possible breakdown bar failure. So we look to see for the inside bar, and we'll see if it actually triggers to get above tomorrow. And then we look for longs, and based on what I'm explaining, the anticipation is that it gets through this. Does it get through it in a choppy way? Does it slice through it like it's not there? I don't know. But I want to see, obviously, the NASDAQ participate and begin to turn around as well. And so there's, the futures that are coming down into the area of this bottoming tail bar. So if the NASDAQ follows through a little lower today, that would be okay, coming down to the 200. But another inside day there, that would be more firepower. Here you've got it on the YM, the Dow futures coming down, just peekabooing down below the 200 there, and the buyers stepping back up. So again, today we want to look for buyers stepping up and holding this, and it could be pretty choppy, and this could spike back down again. So it's not out of the woods yet. I'm anticipating a type of pattern that I've seen many times, and I've seen it not follow through. Of course, that could always be the case with any pattern, but with the internals being as they are, I'm looking for that to actually happen. And I'm kind of excited and looking forward to that, because that's should be a nice long. I know it's counter trend, long type of scenario, which isn't ideal because you do have to deal with the overhead resistance and so on. That's going to be there, but the bigger picture, as it's as it's setting up with the internals, you should be able to get through it. Oil got a bit of a slap yesterday, which I'd been doing with good. Was trying to get through that resistance there. Big down day yesterday, so we'll see if that can survive. You can see the overnight trading, or the pre-market trading right now, going sideways. So not so sure where that goes. Maybe it actually goes lower, because it looks like a 1, 2, 3 continuation to the downside, but we'll see if it holds up. And bonds here are beginning to, or have been inching higher, but I guess with the strength in the market here, pre-market, so bond traders are coming out of that a bit. So That's where we're at. We're going to go through and look at some stocks of interest, which, a lot of them have gotten beaten down. So, NVIDIA, the semiconductors took a pretty good hit. Netflix, which had been stronger, coming back. So we'll see if this actually begins to turn. And I've got the weekly chart scrunched down over here. I like this, even though it's broken lower in the daily, because the weekly is in an uptrend and it's coming down to an area of minor support where it could form a reversal and then potentially turn back up again. Now, look at this weekly chart. You see that tail top and bottom there? It's right here. It's going to have to be dealt with when this turns, but it's a stronger stock. So we'll see if that can make the turn. And MU is coming down to its 50 MA. So weekly uptrend, you want to keep an eye on that as well for a turning point down here. So that's it for the pre-market here, guys. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. In the next couple of days, for our subscribers, we will be opening up the Master Trader Green Room, where after the pre-market analysis, we will then be managing our trades and putting on new trades, and we will have the ability to take advantage of some intraday moves, even with options, because I've got an excellent scan set up for those stocks showing relative strength and institutional sponsorship that are in uptrends or downtrends, and how they're basing intraday. A very powerful scan that I've created there for taking advantage of short-term option strategies in a directional way. So stay tuned, and we'll be coming on here on a regular basis in the mornings to do this market update and fill you guys in. Any questions, of course, post them. Subscribe to the channel so that when we're on, and don't forget to hit the bell, you will be notified that we are live on YouTube. Have a great trading day.